Hey guys, good morning and good evening. So sorry guys, yesterday I was a little sick, so that is the reason I did not take the class. So in the last class, what we discussed about pending topics under the VM theoretical part. So what is meant by patch management, and also we discussed about CS benchmark. So last time itself, in the last class itself, I told you that I can show the couple of CS benchmark related PDFs. So for that one, what we have to do? So I can show that one practically. Just you can go to Google and just you can type CS benchmark. How this PDFs looks like. So there is no need to verify manually, but you need these things also. And whenever you are going for VM level or VM vacancy, please download these CS benchmark related PDF and you can keep along with you. And whenever if you want to do the CS handling benchmark analysis also, please try to go and access these PDFs and try to understand, and also you can compare with the whatever scanning we are going to do that. Okay. So just you can type Center for Internet Security. So CS full form is this one, and click on CS benchmark list. So first you can register this one. So otherwise directly you can go to download here. So CS portal login, you can see my screen. Hope you are able to see my screen. CS portal login, click on this one. It is showing like you have been blocked. What is the reason behind this one? So because I rejected the cookies, so that is the reason it is showing like it is a blocked. But actually, so once you are going this one, how this one looks like. Yeah, anyways, it is blocked that one. Just you can give your username, I mean first name, last name, and also designation, company, and also email address. And don't give your correct phone number. Maybe you can give the wrong phone number. Otherwise, they will call you and they will ask they need some feedback or maybe sampling theorem, and they need a couple of other stuff also. They'll conduct survey. So please don't give your correct mobile number. So later you can click on terms and condition agree. Once you are doing everything, and finally you will receive one of the email. I'm repeating once again. So just if you want to download any CS benchmark, click on the CS portal login, and after click on the CS portal login, so then you have to enter your username, I mean first name, last name, and which country you are belongs to, then your email address, then what is your designation and what is your current company, and finally terms and conditions. And couple of times even mobile number also it will ask, I think. So just you can click on the, don't give your correct mobile number as I said. Otherwise, these CS benchmark related continuously they will call for survey. Okay. So yeah, once you are giving all those details within fraction of seconds, you will receive one of the email. So that is CS benchmark related ready for download. Once you are getting this email, so just you can click on access PDFs. So then there are different types of CS benchmark we do have for different types of operating systems. So you can see here Alibaba Cloud, and also you can see Amazon Web Services related to EC2 instances, and the Google Cloud Computing Platform, and Google Workspace, IBM Cloud Foundations, and Microsoft 365, and Microsoft Azure Virtual Machines, Microsoft Dynamic, and operating systems. So here, all these are like almost endpoints or workstations or EC2 instances. So all those, it's mainly into the cloud environment. And so currently we are discussing about operating systems like Microsoft or middleware or IBM or HP. or Unix under Unix, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, Docker, Ubuntu, and so on. So now I will show two example. One example under the Microsoft Windows Server 2012, or maybe any server under the Microsoft Windows. Second one I can show under the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So you can go down. Even CentOS is also available, and Debian Linux is available, and the free BSD Linux is available. So this is also Linux server only. So there are so many operating systems. So I can go and I can show under the Microsoft Windows Server. So click on this Microsoft Windows Server and click on either whatever server you want. So whatever server you are scanning, not like whatever server you want, whatever server you are scanning, whether you are scanning of Microsoft Windows Server 2012 or 16 or 18 or 19 or 20 or 21 or 22. Okay. So I'll take one of the example and I can download that PDF, and that PDF what exactly it contains. So example, I will take 2016. So you can see versions also. I can maximize this font size. So there are different types of versions. So this version's latest one is CIS benchmark 3.0.0. This is on the Microsoft Windows Server 2016 version 3.0.0. Okay, this is the latest one under the 2016. But if you are going for 2016 STIG compliances, so this is part of the our STIG compliances, that is security technical information guidelines. We should not go with this one because this is a part of the Department of Defense STIG compliances. So in the last class itself, I told you there are different types of compliances like CIS benchmark, Department of Defense STIG compliances, Singapore-based CIS benchmark, and also French-based ANSI compliances. So there are different types of compliances. So now, so here I'm explaining about CIS benchmark. So based on the our without any Navy or Army or without any other stakeholders related to business vertical except the Department of Defense. So you can see here CIS Microsoft Windows Server 2016. Otherwise, you can go for 2019 also. So 2019 latest version is version 4.0.0. You can go and you can see about latest version. Whatever latest version is available, even whenever you are scanning a server, creating a scan policy and scan rule, you have to choose the correct version. If you are choosing the wrong versions, then it will give the lot of wrong auditing failures. You should be aware of the what is the latest version of the CIS benchmark it is providing by our CIS organization also. So compare here along with the whatever scan policy you are creating under the any VM tool like an SS or Qualys or Rapid7 or whatever tool you are using in our organization side. Okay. So now under 2016, what is the latest version? We can see 3.0.0. So just click on download PDF. So now whatever we are doing, it's like everything in manual way. So, but tool, we no need to give the manual way, just we have to enable the policy. Under the policy CIS benchmark policy, we have to enable. Under the scan policy side, that one I can show practically in the tomorrow class. So already this particular PDF is downloaded. Click on this one. So CIS Microsoft Windows Server 2016 benchmark, and the latest version is v3.0.0, and this one is developed by CIS organization April 19th, 2024. Okay, so now, so table of contents. So here what exactly this one, it contains this particular document. It is almost like more than 80 to 100 pages document. So terms of use, table of contents, overview. So recommended definitions. So they will give the couple of what is the scope of the work, what is the description, what is the profile, what is the impact statement, and what is the auditing procedure or remediation procedure, everything they can give. So for every vulnerability or every complaint, every complaints, they will give about level 1, whether it is level 1 control or level 2 control. As I said in the last class itself, for CIS benchmark set, there are two levels. One is called level 1 control and second one is called level 2 controls. Okay. So now, so for each and every level 1, how to log into the server and what is the command we have to give and how to validate. So everything they can give this one in this document, but we no need to do anything in the manual way. That's what I said in the last class also. So let's go and see about how that one looks like. So additional information and what is this document about? They explained about all these acknowledgement and definitions and also how to do the audit, all those. So now these are all the different types of complaints. All those complaints around 200 plus complaints. So these are all the initial security configurations or implementations. These servers team, they will do the implementations on the server side. Why we have to do these CIS benchmark implementations? So these CIS benchmark implementations we have to do from the attacker side. Whenever he's trying to do the hacking on the server side, it will reduce the attack complexity because it is difficult to hack it, and also it will reduce the attack vector. So selection of the target, it will become very difficult. So that is the reason we have to enable all these security configurations. Any weakness it is identified. So if we are implementing these things, then we can reduce that weakness, and also we can reduce the vulnerability whatever it is identified. So that is the reason. So these CS auditing benchmark, it will provide the additional security controls. What is the importance of the CS benchmark? CS benchmark, it will provide additional security controls. It will eliminate or it will so prevent or it will remediate. There are a lot of security category of the attacks. So that is the reason we have to implement to safeguard our servers, to safeguard our operating system, to prevent from the attackers. So that is the importance of the CS benchmark. So these security configurations or these security implementations or these compliances can be implemented by servers team, not our team, not part of the vulnerability management team. So these configurations can be implemented and also configured by respect to server owner or business owner. Most of the cases, in case it is Windows team, it's a part of our Windows servers team, and Linux server team. So that is the importance of the okay, who will develop it. Okay, so now what is the first policy here? You can see recommendations wise account policies. Under the account policies, you can see password policies. So under the password policies, once again we have account lockout policy. So the next one is, second one is local policies. So you can go through the headings wise. So approximate, I think 12 to 15, all those different compliances are divided. Once again, each and every main compliances are divided into sub compliances. First one is account policies. Under the account policies, what is the first policy name is called as password policy. Under the password policy, what is the complaints? You can see here 1.1.1. Can you see my screen, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah. So under the, okay, so account policies, first one is 1.1. It's a password policy. Under the password policy, you can see 1.1.1, and in bracket it is showing as L1. What is meant by L1? It's a level 1 control. It's a mandatory control. It's a must control. Okay. So now ensure enforce password history is set to 24 or more password. Okay, so more passwords are automated. So what is mean by this one here? So enforce our character length is 24 characters. We should not use 8 or in between 12. We have to use more than that, so that attacker is difficult to identify the password length. So next one is ensure maximum password age is set to 365 or fewer days, but not 0. So whatever password length you are trying to use, it should be rotated. Okay, so password age meaning here, we should be rotated less than 365 days. So that means either 1 month or maybe 15 days or maybe 3 months. As I mentioned, most of the companies will follow a 1 month password rotation. And also you can see engine minimum password age is set to 1 or more days. So these are all the compliances. So what server stream they will do? So they will go and they will log into the server, and they can go and they can update the configurations. So this is the way how the server team, they can go and they can, the server team is aware of everything. So server team is aware of each and every complaints, how to configure, what to configure, because they are working on the server side. So each and every server administrator or server support team, they are aware of all these complaints. Because example, if you are going for SIM tool or EDR tool or firewall tool, you know from where to where and how to do investigation as security person, because you're a part of the security, right? Same way here also, service team is aware of how to configure all these. Okay, even if they don't know, they can go on, they can so speak with other colleagues, and then finally they can configure. Okay, so now, so that is the first one, account policy. Under the account policy, password policy. So what are the different password policies we have to implement? And account lockout policy, how to configure the account lockout policy. In the similar local policies, under the local policies, audit policy, user rights assignment. So this user rights assignment can be implemented to reduce our so privilege escalation category of the attacks and also rootkit category of the attacks. So attackers should not get the so higher level of the access or root level of the access. So we can minimize the risk from the to gain the higher level of the access related to rootkit attack, or maybe it is belongs to our privilege escalation attack. So that is the local policies they have to configure under the server related to Microsoft Windows Server 2016. Which server we are discussing now? We are discussing about 2016 Microsoft Windows Server. So next one is security options. Under the security options is 2.3. Under that one 2.3.1. So it's accounts. So related to service accounts or user accounts or local administrator account or administrator account, all those accounts configurations. On auditing side, how these security audit related logs can be configured. So every system contains the different types of the logs, like so as I mentioned, application logs, security audit related logs, then system related logs, setup related logs. So next one is event forwarder. I have shown that one also under the event forward, because this is a part of the our so Windows. So Windows contains, there are 5 different types of logs, like audit related logs, application related logs. So next one is our system and setup and event forwarded. So under these are all the different types of logs they have to configure. And DCOM and devices, domain controller, they have to configure a couple of other authentication mechanisms on the server side, and domain member. So next one, interactive logon. So these logons I will explain once again under the so part of our Windows logon types. So we not only have one logon type, like just log into the system by providing the username and password. There are more than 9 to 10 logon types, like interactive logon, remote logon, network clear text logon. Okay, so remote cache logon, remote password logon. There are total 9 different types of logon types we do have. So next one is the Microsoft Network Client. So anyways, so these are all things they will configure. So third one is event log. So event log and restricted groups, system services, registry, file system, and wide network, part of the wireless, and Windows Defender firewall, couple of configuration they have to configure. And total we do have 17, and let's go and see 18. 19, yeah, total altogether 19 main compliances. All those 19 main compliances once again are divided into like a subdomains or sub compliances. Now these compliances, what you can do, you can go and you can make one of the Excel sheet, and you can copy paste all these different types of compliances. Okay, so why we have to do that? So whenever if you want to analyze the CIS hardening benchmark, okay, so then you have to compare with our vulnerability report versus our so CIS hardening benchmark, whatever we are making like Excel sheet. So just you can compare, you can make like a how much percentage it is. So that is the way we can minimize overall. Okay, so how much audit passed, how many auditor failed. Let's go and discuss about couple of compliances. So total overall, how many compliances under the Microsoft Server 2016 version 3.0.0? So it contains overall 19. Not only this one, even if you are going with the Microsoft Windows Server 2012 or 2008, 2019 or 2021 or 22, even for Microsoft end user side. So end user side Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Windows 8.1 or Windows 9 or 10 or 11. So even you can see same compliances here and there, little bit different. So I'm clicking on the password policy. Once you're clicking on the password policy, then it will take to so wherever the content is available. So under the password policy, so this section contains the recommended for password policy. So now it will provide the description and it will provide the note and it will provide the how to do the auditing also. So what is the first 1.1.1 under the main password policy and what is the sub policy here? Ensure enforce password history is set to 24 or more passwords. Okay. What is profile applicability? Domain controller and level, it's a level one. It's a level one control. So this particular compliance. And so here, this particular, okay, so compliance is applicable to domain controller and also member server, whoever is logging into the server, either it is a user account or service account or local administrator account or administrator account. For all those people, it is applicable. So this policy setting determines the number of renewed unique passwords that have to associate with the user account before you can reuse an old password. If you want to reuse the old password, so in between password setting 0 and 24 passwords, whatever character length you are using, so that one, okay, we can go and we can use that one. The default value for standard alone systems is a 0 passwords, but the default setting when joined to domain controller 24 passwords. So 24 passwords they have to define part of the server. So then the default value of standard alone system is 0 password, but the default setting when joined to domain 24 passwords. Yeah. To maintain the effectiveness of the policy setting, use the minimum password age setting. Okay, so we have to keep the age setting also, whether it is 1 month or whether it is a 1 week or 15 days or quarterly ones, to prevent users from the repeated changing the passwords. So why we have to keep this password? So end users should not repeatedly change the password and he should not use the same password for the multiple times. Okay. So the recommended state of the setting is 24 or more passwords. So they want to use either 24 or more than length of the passwords. Okay, so now that is the description. Now these servers team, they can go and they can configure. Okay, so they given the note and they given the note to also and rationalize. And finally impact. If you don't implement this one, what is the attacker impact is trying to do this one? The major impact of this configuration, if the user must create a new password every time. So whenever they want to change the password, for example, you forgot the password and you want to create a new password from the older one to new one, or resetting the password by these Windows administrator or maybe help desk team, they are providing new password and you want to update and you want to create a default password, whatever they provided. So obviously you will click on the, so changing the password. For that one, you can provide the old password. Once again, you will create a new password and confirm new password. So those things you can provide. And if the users required to change, anyways, this is simple thing. So if you want to change the passwords, just you can go and you can change like a control alt disk, for example, control alt delete, and we can change the password and you can provide the existing password and you can provide the new password and confirm new password. So that is what they are saying. And audit. So impact is here attacker easily he can do the brute force category of the attack or password spray category of the attack or pass the hash attack or rainbow table attack or dictionary attack or so password spread. These are all the couple of attacks attacker can do that one. So these are all the mitigations for the authentication failure category of the attacks, right? So now audit, how to do the audit. Navigate to the UI path articulated in the remediation section and confirm it is set to prescribed. So what is mean by this one? They are saying that you can log into the server via UI, user interface, because Microsoft server you can log into through GUI, also graphical user interface, because Microsoft Office system, it is not like every time we have to enter the commands. It's not like a similar to like a Unix. For Unix, everywhere it's like a command line interface. You have to remember a lot of commands for everything. You have to go and you have to verify through commands. But here, our Microsoft Windows Server side, even like our Facebook.console example, So this is called user console, right? So this is called user interface. Even our microserver can be logged in through like a user interface also. This is called user interface now. So this is the way how the user interface we can go and we can log into the server. And after that, what they are saying. So UI path, then it will go to remediation section. We have to go to remediation section and confirm it is set as a prescribed. So whatever the description they are providing, whether these servers team they configured or not. Otherwise, you can log into the server and you can verify through comments also. Anything is fine. And recommendation, remediation. To establish the recommended configuration via GP, graphical user interface, set the following user interface path to 24 or more passwords, complete configuration. So this is the path they have to go. Where, how they can go and they can fix this issue. So service team has to go to the computer configuration and policies, Windows settings tab and security settings, account policies, password policy, enforce password policy. This is one of the path. Either through we can go to our graphical user interface or maybe through our command line interface also. And finally, they can go and they can configure. Okay. So now how we can do the auditing? We can do auditing either through command or maybe through you can auditing meaning a security team. When what is meaning auditing here? So security team they can go and they can do that. But how many complaints you can go and you can verify through manual way? It will take longer time. It's more than 200 plus, almost like a 220 to 230 to 300 in between. So verifying these things to log into the server or maybe through going to the our web user interface related to the server, checking the information, it will take almost like more than 1 week. So if you are checking for one server itself, it is taking more than 1 week. And if you have more than 6,000 servers or 10,000 servers, how many days you will take care of CIS hardening benchmark? Same thing it's happened when I was working in Motorola. So initially, we don't have any vulnerability management tool. Then what we have access to server also. We used to log into the Windows server and we used to log into the Linux server also. So myself and my colleague, both we are logging into the server for validating these complaints alone itself. It has taken more than a week. 2 members for both Windows and Linux for only 2 servers. Only for 2 servers, it has taken more than a week to verify each and everything, whether they configured correctly or not, because I have to check everything manual way. So all those things, because we are not using any tool that time. So it took longer time and we informed and we are facing whatever complicated issues or complex issues or difficult issues to management team or senior management or our manager or director. And finally, we purchased a tool because manual way it is taking longer time. Okay. So yeah, coming back now, there is no need to do any auditing through verifying this particular PDF document. So just you can make only what is the what is the suggestion I am giving to you guys. Just these main contents like all these 19 categories of the policies, you can make one Excel sheet, and subdomains also can make like one Excel sheet. Now once you are doing any server scanning, just download that report and whatever Excel sheet you created based on this PDF document versus whatever you have run the scan using the report. Just you can make like a pivot table or compare these two Excel sheet, and finally you can make a pass percentage. So this is the way how we can go and we can check the our overall CIS auditing benchmark. So these benchmarks can be implemented and configured by our server owners or server support team. And what is the security team priority or job role? Whatever these configurations they have done, we have to do auditing. When you say auditing, basically whether all these complaints they configured correctly or not. That is called audit. Whenever audit means here, so exactly whoever is implemented, the team has correctly they configured or not, whether it is a passed or failed. So in case of passed, what is the evidence? In case of failed, what is the evidence? We have to show that evidence also. So without evidence whether court will accept, no, they will not accept. Without any evidence whether finance team chartered accountant will accept, no, he will not accept. So same way security audit also we need evidence Even though it's a past one, we need evidence. Even though it's a failed one, we need evidence. But past one we can ignore, but mainly we can focus on the failed one. Failed one they have to implement. So whatever they configured in the server side, so couple of times it will, okay, against the PDF report. Now we can compare these two and we can see what CS benchmark related. So default recommendation they provided based on this PDF document versus whatever they configured in the server. So we can provide these documents and reports to respect to server owner. Then they can go and they can verify. So maybe couple of times, because configuring all these complaints, it will take longer time to server team also, because they have to complete their work related to supporting and fixing and troubleshooting and configuring the servers. So they have their own side. And if we are giving the work, security team as security team, we are giving the work. They have to complete their work and they have to complete our work also. Couple of times they will say we'll not fix this one and we need at least 10 days time period. So this is called conflict of interest. So we are saying we can fix this issue, or you can configure these audits, and they will say like already we are so busy with the whatever work they assign to us. So then finally they will say like we will not do this one, and when we need at least 1 week time period. This is the way how the server team also they will come and they will so speak with us. So then obviously we have to so sit together and really I mean, so they are busy with their work and we have to try to understand, and finally so whatever conflict of interest it's happening in between server team and security team, we have to sit together and we have to try to resolve the issue. Okay. Now, so this is about overall Windows side. So I'm repeating once again, what is the final conclusion related to CS benchmark? So these CS benchmark we can configure to reduce the attack vector, to reduce the attack complexity, and also even it will reduce the whenever attack is trying to penetrate, because we have seen already account password policies, strong password policies, patch management, and also logs we have to configure. These logs we have to integrate with the SIM tool, and the user accounts we are creating, and role based access control we are creating, and so privilege access management creating, identity access management creating. All this is a part of the CS benchmark. Okay, so if you are configuring this one from the attacker side, so even though he's hacking and even though he's trying to compromise, he has less chances are there to compromise overall server. So that is the reason these security controls, it will act as a additional security controls or additional security mechanism to safeguard our server. So that is the overall importance of the CS benchmark. Okay, so let's go and discuss about Linux server side. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux, because it's a popular one, I'm going with this one. So latest version, Red Hat Enterprise Linux Benchmark 2.0. That's what I said. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux 1.x, 2.x, 3.x, 4.x, 5.x, 6.x, 7.x, 8.x, 9.x. Hope you remember when we discussed about theoretical part. So what is the latest version of the Red Hat Enterprise Linux and CentOS? It's a 9.x. 10.x right now it is in development state. So maybe very soon, Red Hat company, they are going to release 10.x also. So what is the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9 benchmark version 2.0.0? So this is the latest one. Okay. So they are supporting, you can see here, supporting also they are supporting only from 5, 6, 7, 8 only. So 1, 2, 3, 4, they are not supporting patch updates also. Those are all end of life and end of support. In case in our organization we are using Red Hat Enterprise Linux, we can't implement, you can see here. So what is Red Hat benchmark? As per CS, it's only 5. So 4, 3, 2, 1 you are using also. CS company itself, they are not recommended what exactly they have to configure on the Linux side. Okay. Now please go and download this one. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux benchmark V 2.0.0. Even 3.0.0 version is not available. And download PDF. In couple of interviews, couple of times they'll ask about what you know about Windows operating system, what you know about Linux operating system. Then you can say, I know about CIS auditing benchmark, configuring, auditing, and also even whether it is a passed or failed part of the vulnerability management. I know how to integrate the logs. I know how to protect the server. So these are the couple of things you have to inform to the respective interviewer. Okay, that is also one of the interview question. So same thing here, table of the contexts under the Linux server side also benchmark and initial setup. You can see compare now. So when you're going with Windows side, first one is account policies. Under the account policies, password policies. Okay. Just I'm comparing Microsoft versus Red Hat. So what is the first recommendations or compliances as per the Microsoft side is password policy. Okay. Then what about Linux side? Linux side is initial setup. Under the initial setup, file system is subdomain. And once again, the sub compliances are configuring file system kernel modular. Okay, configuring file system partitions. So they have to configure the partitions, configure the time and configure the system, configure the home, configure the variable, configure the variable temporary, configure the log. So this is the place logs will be stored. It's entire question. Where can be stored under the log under the Linux server? What is the location of the log? /var/log. Okay. So I can go and I can write all these things. Otherwise you'll forget. Windows, mainly for Windows server logs, you know already where we have to go. We have to go to event viewer. So even for server also same thing. So if you are going for event viewer, so here we can see this is the, I think maybe fourth time or fifth time I'm showing this one. Under the Windows logs, we can see application security setup system forwarded events. So this is the even for server also same thing. So audit related logs. This is whatever I'm discussing now, cyber security SOC. Okay. So next one is system related logs, application related logs, setup related logs, event forward. Just you can ignore that one. In the firewall, we have to forward those logs. Audit means here login failure, login success. So login failure or login success. So don't think like only one type of login we can do. So we have more than 10 types of logon. If you want to log into any Windows machine, we have type 0 to type 11 and type 6 are not valid and type 4 also not valid. Total we have 9 types of logon types. Okay. So Windows logon types are 9, not 1. Whatever you know, only one. Just switch on the laptop and providing the username and providing the password. Just you know only one logon type. But we do have the Windows logon types are total 9 types. Windows logon types are 9. Inter question this one also. This one I'll explain later once we are going to sim tool. And system, what is system related logs? So these are all performance related logs like bandwidth, CPU, or RAM. So these logs is a part of performance related logs and 70% baseline. So these servers team, if the bandwidth or if the CPU or if the RAM is crossing more than 70%, for example, 16 GB RAM you are using and is crossing more than 70% of the 16 GB RAM, then what is the percentage you will achieve? You will achieve 16 sevens or 70s, otherwise 16 sevens are, so total 11.2. In case 11.2 GB it is crossing, then automatically alert should be triggered. Then maybe you are using, hard disk is 500 GB. It is crossing more than 70%. So 70% of the 500 is 350 GB is crossing that one, then alert should be generated. So this is the way how the baseline they will configure. Okay. That is called system oriented performance related logs. application related, whatever applications or software or processes, all those we are deploying, those logs also. Applications, softwares, processes are deployed in the operating system. Those logs also we have to integrate. So finally, setup, configuration or implementation related logs. So these are all the common to any log source or any data source. It will generate these four. Okay. So now this is on the Windows side, where we can go and we can verify Windows Server logs. Under the event viewer, we can go to Windows logs and finally we can see. But on the Linux server side, where can we see the logs? That's what I'm explaining now. You can go back to here. So now, so where can we see here? So /var/log. This is one of the path. /var/log audit. When you say audit, login failure and login success. So these locations. So these two locations we can go and we can verify. So those paths are additionally some other folders also. Log into server. Go to the folders like /var/log. This is the first path. /var/log. So this is the second audit. So this mainly for authentication failure and authentication success. /var/log/star all logs. Whenever star means it's like all logs, pool of the logs. That may be millions or billions of the logs. /var/log/star is over. SSHD. So SSHD means login authentication, login success. /var/log HTTPD application related logs. So these are the different types of paths we can go and we can verify the logs in the Linux server side. So star means all logs. Whenever star, we are referring all logs. So that may be audit, that may be application, that may be setup, that may be bandwidth, or that may be system related logs. Audit means only authentication failure and authentication success. SHD means here only just once again authentication failure or authentication success. So because through putty we are going to log into the Unix system. So that's why SSH is a port number 22. Log into the Linux server. We can use putty application port number 22. And HTTPD, it's application related logs. Application here, login failure, login success. Here also login failure, login success. Then what about application also we discussed. What about setup and also configuration, but nothing but configuration and all system related logs like a bandwidth and also CPU or RAM, all those logs we can see under the directly all logs. So this is the path. So directly we can specify this one, that is sufficient. Okay. So these places we can using collector agent method or using the syslog server method, we can go and we can integrate the logs. So what is the log integration methods we can use? Syslog server method or collector agent. So on the Linux server, we can use the piece of this software related to SIM tool vendor, whatever they are providing to us, like IBM QRadar or Splunk or any other tool, or maybe our syslog server method also. We can use these two methods to integrate the logs to SIM tool. Anyway, this one we are going to discuss. What I am trying to say here, where can we identify the logs on the Windows and where can we identify the logs on the Linux? These logs only we have to integrate to SIM tool. That is one of the hardening benchmark also. That's what I meant to say that. So /var/log, all these are. So part of our logging part. These locations only logs can be stored. So next one, package management. So all these different types. Next one, services. Second one is services. Under the services, once again, so configuring services. So there are subdomains. Next one is network. So they have to configure the couple of network interfaces also on the Linux server side. Next one is host based firewall. So firewall. So by default, each and every operating system, it is supporting security also, basic security, not full-fledged security. On the Windows side, we can say Windows firewall. On the Linux side, we can say host based firewall. Okay, this concept we can call it IP tables. So on the Linux side, configuring firewalls, we can call IP tables concept. So this is also another benchmark. What is IP tables meaning here? Once we do have the trust zone, untrust zone, DMZ zone. Once the traffic is coming to untrust to DMZ, DMZ to trust. So zero-day vulnerability we discussed. Hope you remember. So what is the one of the remediation I provided? Once the traffic is reaching to our trust zone, node to node communication, we have to configure only private IP address communication only. So that is called IP tables concept. So we should not allow public IP to our trust zone. Only we have to allow private IP address range communication only within the trust zone. So we do have the three different types of zone as per network architecture diagram, whatever we discussed. So one is trust zone or internal zone. Second one DMZ or DMZ. Third one is external or public or internet. Okay. So now, so when the traffic is coming from external to external to internal, first it will come to ISP router, then it will come to firewall, then it will come to our trust zone. So in the load balancer, we have to complete SSL offloading, and within the trust zone, what we have to do? So we have to allow only private IP communication only. So we should not allow public IP communication. Why? Because that public IP may malicious one, our systems more chance are there to get compromised. So that concept in Linux environment, we can call it as IP tables concept. Okay, so that is zero-day vulnerability, one of the mitigation part also. So identify the business IPs, non-business IPs. Okay, wherever it is possible, please try to whitelist or blocklist. So these business IPs and also business domains. That is the first thing I told you. And second thing, as a temporary fix, please implement IP tables concept under the trust zone of our network architecture diagram. That is like a temporary fix. What is the permanent fix as per zero-day vulnerability? What we discussed? We discussed like once the vendor is releasing the patch, we have to go on, we have to fix that patch by testing that patch in the development environment and testing environment. Okay, so that is called IP tables concept. So in the trust zone, we have to allow only peer-to-peer or node-to-node communication only via private IP address communication, not public IP. Okay, so this is the way. Maybe you can ask now how we can do this one. We can go and we can do the configuration of the firewall. Under the firewall, so always our private IP address we have to map to the public IP. That concept we can call natting. Once the IP it is reaching to the WAN interface, we should not allow the our public IP to our internal IP. So whatever LAN interface we are configuring, that LAN IP interface it has to communicate to our backend trust zone. So that concept you can call it natting, network address translation. So configuring the private IP to public IP or mapping out the private IP to public IP, we can call it as
NATing, network address translation. So this is the way how we can reduce our attacker whenever they're trying to do the hacking from the public IP, because most of the attacks will come the malicious public IPs communication from the external to internal. That may be through phishing email, that may be through drive-by downloads, that may be through so any other form of the so penetration techniques or offensive mechanisms attacker they are trying to use it. Okay, so that is called Windows firewall, configuring the firewall. If you are configuring this one, obviously we can reduce the our risk basically whenever attack is trying to do the hacking on the or trust shown of the network. So that is mean by hardening benchmark. So host based firewall, this one, all these IP tables, you can see here NF tables. This is the one means IP tables. Access control, we have to implement role based access control, whether any person is requesting access to Linux server, what is the role they are looking for, whether it is a read only or write only, read and write, whether they need entire configuration access also or like administration access. According to that one, we can go and we can really, the user is requesting the access. So need read only or write only or read and write or maybe so complete administrator access. We can go and we can check that one according to these security administrator, sorry, server administrator, he can go and he can give the access. So next one, logging and auditing. So all these logs, that's what I'm saying. All these logs also we have to do. So storing in the logs. Next one is system auditing. Next one is system maintenance. These are like patch updates. So they can create cron jobs and they can do the regular patch updates and also server upgrades. So all those things fill for system maintenance. So if our employees, so only seven only here. Under Windows side, they are divided into 19 categories. But in the Linux side, how many categories? Only 7. So Linux are less as compared to Windows. Okay. So that is about overall hardening benchmark. So finally, what is the conclusion? And really, wherever you are joining part of the vulnerability management vacancy only, this concept of where I brought now, this concept I'm bringing or I'm so explaining under the vulnerability management. If you are going for the vulnerability management and the customer really or whatever project you are supporting, so they need CIS benchmark. So what I'm saying, you can go and you can create all these benchmark in the Excel sheet for your reference, and also you can configure the so CIS benchmark policy under the vulnerability management tool, whatever tool your customer or client or project purpose you are using. And whenever any so audit related CIS benchmark it is failed, then you can compare with your Excel sheet whatever you created versus whatever tool is giving. Okay, then if you are creating all these benchmark now, okay, so whenever our server owner or asset owner or server support team, whoever is configuring these benchmark, we can say that and we can show the evidence. Verbally, they will not trust us. We can show the evidence. So this is the thing as per the CIS benchmark you have to configure. But in the server level, as per the vulnerability management report, so this is the configuration, it is configured. So it is like a discrepancy or mismatch in between CIS benchmark, okay, default settings versus whatever we configured under the server. So this is the evidence. Now if are okay, so if are showing that one, finally they will shut down their mouth. Sorry to say this one. So this is the way for everything we have to show like a proof or evidence so that they will not ask back the questions. Means other team members. Okay. So that is about overall CIS benchmark. As I said, so there is no need to go and verify all these things in the manually in the server. First of all, they will not give server access. So whatever vulnerability management tool we are using, we have to enable the scan policy under the scan policy as benchmark, and we have to run the scan for these servers. Automatically report will be generated. Just you can compare whatever configuration they configured under the our server versus whatever says benchmark default settings it is configured. Just like comparing these two, and finally what are failed ones are there, so those one you can raise a ticket to the server owner and you can inform to fix those what are failed related outings or failed related CIS benchmark issues also. One more thing, So for example, under Microsoft CS benchmark, how many total? 19. 19 main domains, 19 main compliances. These compliances are divided into once again. Okay, so there are several sub compliances. These compliances are divided into sub compliances like 1.1.1, 1.1.2, 1.1.1.3, all those. On the Linux side, so total 7 are main compliances. And these 7 are divided into sub compliances. Okay. So altogether, these 19 compliances, we have more than 200 to 250, I think. When I was working 1 year back, it is like 226. So now these are all like almost 170, not 170, 110. Yeah, 110. So now, what is the pass percentage? How we can calculate? Out of example 226, maybe 113 are passed after running the scan. Remaining 113 are failed indirectly. So then what is the pass percentage? So 113 by 226, that is equivalent to 50 percentage. So 50% is overall passed. So at least we need to achieve 90%. At least 100% is very difficult to achieve as a part of auditing, because you are configuring 100% as a complaint as per against CIS benchmark. Couple of times what will happen, server will be crashed. And also business requirement, maybe our requirement is different versus whatever CIS is defining. So that's why if are reaching 90%, that is a very good job. It's a very good to recommend all those benchmarks. Okay. Sorry guys, apologies. Some internet issues. Yeah. So now once we are going to the VM tool, how to configure the automated way and where we have to enable the CS benchmark policy, I can show that one practically. There is no need to do the any manual verification, and it will, as I mentioned, it will take longer time to verify these. And one more thing, a lot of job descriptions nowadays, even you are going for cybersecurity SOC operations also. So one of the complaints they will give like, so whether do you have the experience on the ISO 27001, GDPR, PCI DSS, CIS Hornick benchmark, NIST framework. So this is the way couple of complaints also they will give. That means they are looking even whether you are aware of these benchmarks or not, whether these complaints or not. So at least you know about the basic, even you are going for the cyber security SOC operation, either L1 or L2 or L3, or maybe engineer or maybe implementation also. Okay, so even CS benchmark also, it's one of the compliance, part of the GRC, governance, risk and compliance. Anyway, under the vulnerability management, it's a compulsory and mandatory. So up to 2017 and 2018, all the customers are ignoring CIS benchmark. Now almost out of 100% of the customers are clients, 90% of the customers are clients, they are implementing either CIS benchmark or Department of Defense TIC compliances. Okay. So that is about overall CIS benchmark. Now how to protect a server? So how to protect a server? So you will keep in the resume like knowledge base on or knowledge on Windows operating system and Linux operating system. So now, so they will ask questions like, how can you protect a server? What ways you can protect a server? So we can protect the server by implementing all the security controls, by thinking about the endpoint side, by thinking about on the so network side, by thinking about on the so our password side. Everywhere we have to think. We have to think about all the okay. So 360 degrees out of 360 degrees, then only we can safeguard our server. So for that one, what are the security controls or security policies or security implementations we have to do on the server side? First and foremost, strong or complex passwords. So on the server side also, we have to implement strong and complex passwords. You know, under this one, default password we should not use. Minimum length is 12 to 25 characters. And also main thing, password we should not, and monthly once we should rotate the password. Consecutive 3 times password we should not use it, and uppercase, lowercase, and also special character and number. So those things, and account lockout policy we have to implement. So these are all the things will fall under the strong and complex passwords. Where we discuss this concept, we discuss this concept under the authentication failure category of the attack. Okay, that is the mitigation. Even for server side also we have to implement all these policies. Second one, what is the, okay, I'm not repeating all those, whatever we discussed, you know about strong or complex passwords means. Next one, implement RBAC controls. Just now we have seen one of the user rights or user access controls. So role-based access control we have to implement. So meaning here, what is the role? Example, as a security person, you need access to server. Do you think that they will give the administrator account or local administrator account or service account? No, they'll give the user account. That too, whether you need only for view purpose. As a security person, you can't go and you can't do the configurations like a service team, whatever they are doing. First of all, most of the organizations for security team, they will not give the server access. Okay, so role-based access control meaning for suppose maybe they are giving the access to you, then they will give only read only or view only. Just you can view what is the configuration, because sometimes maybe you have to do the investigation. For that time, they can go only read only, but it is very rare cases. So role-based access control meaning here based on the role or based on your job roles and responsibilities. What is the role they are defining? So this one according to IAM, Identity and Access Management, or PAM, Privilege Access Management. We have always this people can go and can implement based on your identity, whether you are a part of the DevOps team or SecOps team or TechOps team or middleware team or application development team. What is your identity? And they will not give the each and every user like administrator account. Whenever we are giving all people are administrator account, then finally who has done what? If they don't give the based on the username, for every people we are giving the administrator as a username, and password is password at the rate of 123. We don't know, first of all, maybe 10 members have the access to the server. So if you don't give the based on the username wise, then it's very difficult who has the access. So who has done what? Traceability, it will become very difficult. So that's why we have to implement identity wise based on the username wise. So and also least PAM means privilege access management. So as much as possible, we have to provide the least privilege. Okay. based on the identity of the user based on the least privilege. So this one will explain later. I will explain later. What is meant by IAM and PAM. So third one, we have to implement disk encryption. So in the server side, whatever, so encryption we're implementing, that is called data at rest encryption. That is also called disk encryption, DASC. Whenever any physical damage or physical theft it's happen, so that time this disk encryption, it will helpful for us to prevent any data leakage. Okay, because even attacker is trying to compromise our server, if he doesn't have the any password or key related to data access or file access, he can't see the data even the server got compromised, because we are encrypting the disk. Okay, so because the server cannot move here and there, so that's why this one we can call it as data at a rest level of the encryption. It's like a static position encryption. So we are, wherever the data is storing on the server side, for that one we are providing additionally one of the password or key. So that is called data at rest. Next one, implement antivirus, EDR, DLP, HADS, HAPS, file integrity monitoring. So even for server side also, we have to implement antivirus agent. Otherwise, that is also called EDR agent or XDR agent. And even we have to implement DLP solution. We have to implement HADS, HAPS solution. We have to implement file integrity monitoring also. Who is uploading the files or downloading files or configuring the files or deleting the files? Those things also we have to verify. Otherwise, so whenever any attacker is injecting the malware, we are not sure whether he is injecting the malware or not. Once he is injecting the malware, he is trying to compromise. What is the additional access trying to do that? So that's why we have to implement all these are endpoint security solutions. In the server side also we have to implement all these. So next one, regular patch updates. Regular normal patch updates. So we have to do regular normal patch updates. So this one we can call Tuesday patch. What is Tuesday patch? I'll explain. And next one is regular vulnerability scanning. Nothing but our team, whatever we are doing. Regular vulnerability scanning. And fixing the vulnerabilities. Using patch management process. So this one we have to implement to protect the server. So we have to do the vulnerability scanning, nothing but VM scans for these servers, and we have to inform to the servers team, and they will do the patch updates. So it's a part of VM, vulnerability management. Next one, just now I discussed implement IP tables concept. So it's like a firewall capability. Only private IP communication we have to enable. This is part of the network security. So I'm keeping this one. There is no need to remember, just for which description will fall under what type of the category of the security domain. Okay. So that is the reason, just for understanding purpose, I'm saying about all these. Okay. Implement IP tables using firewall concept. Then whatever logs are generated, all those logs we have to integrate it to SIM tool, and we have to create couple of correlation rules. Integrate logs to SIM tool and create server use cases. So this part of the cybersecurity SOC using SIM tool. So whatever logs are generating these server side, we have to integrate all those logs to our SIM tool, and we have to create couple of use case, meaning here different types of the attacks, like account is added, account is deleted, account is modified, account is updated. So then additionally, so our brute force attack of the server and password spray attack the server, multiple authentication login failure attempts of the server, multiple authentication login failure attempts from the same source user, same source IP, all those different types use cases or attacks we have to configure as a rules or policies under the SIM tool. Okay, so these are all the ways if are implementing the couple of initial security controls on the server side, so that we can go and we can reduce the to try to compromise the any server, that may be database server, that may be our Unix server, or maybe our Windows server, or maybe our web server, or file server, any server. Okay, so these things you have to implement. Whenever you are giving this answer, you can see I thought about endpoint security side, I thought about cyber security side, I thought about infrastructure security side, vulnerability management side, then also part of our so information security. Strong password policies will fall under which security domain? Information security domain. Information security person, they will configure the strong or complex password policy under GRC, governance, risk and compliances. So meaning here, you have to think about all these security domains, then only you can give the proper answer. Otherwise, you will give only just like, okay, implement strong password policies and complex password policies. That's the way how we can protect the server. That is wrong. So we have to think about all these different types of security domains, then only you can give the correct answer. So these are the ways we can protect the server, or we can rate. See, I'm not saying 100% we can protect the server. 100% risk cannot be eliminated, but at least we can reduce the risk. Okay, at least we can reduce the risk. 100% we are not sure when we are going to die. It's that is the way. Risk will come anyways, anytime, right? Same way here also, we cannot eliminate the risk, but we can reduce the risk by implementing all these controls. Yeah, so that is the way how to protect the server. Next one is patch policy. This is the last topic. So patch policy, what is the patch policy meaning here? Once the vulnerability is identified, our information security manager, they can go and they can configure the different types of the policies documents for us, like a procedure and policies, standards they can configure based on the NIST framework, based on the ISO 27001. So example, strong or complex password is one of the policy, patch policy is one of the policy, sexual harassment policy is one of the policy, either men to women or women to men, they are doing the sexually or verbally harassment in the organization side, immediate termination. Data protection act, it's one of the, so our policy. Occupational health safety and security mechanism, it's one of the policy. Whenever any burning it's happen, so vacating of the building, it's one of the policy. So these are the different types of the policies can be configured by information security manager under GRC, governance, risk and compliance oriented. So patch policy also one of the policy. So this one is applicable to vulnerability management, VM. So every organization they can go and they can define if the critical vulnerability is identified, vulnerability score or risk and number of days to fix. So example, vulnerability risk score is critical. We have to fix in the 2 weeks. If it is high, then we have to fix in the 1 month. it's a medium or low or informational, we have to fix in 90 days. So this is the patch policy you are following in our organization. In case at the time of the interview, they will ask like, what is the patch policy you are following? You can say that. So for critical vulnerabilities, we are fixing in the 2 weeks of the time period, and high related we are fixing in the 1 month, and medium or low or informational we are fixing in the 90 workday quarterly ones. So this is the patch policy. So this is not same for every organization. This is not same for every organization. So I worked in the multiple organizations. Couple of times even this is like a 1 week. Okay, but 1 week it's very constraint and very less time period to fix all those vulnerabilities, because as I mentioned previously, also they have their own work. They have to complete their work also, right? Yeah. So that is about patch policy. In case someone will ask what is the patch policy you are following related to vulnerability mitigation or remediation, you can say critical vulnerabilities we will fix in the 2 working days. Sorry, 2 weeks. Sorry. High we have to fix in the 1 month, and medium or lower informational we are fixing in the 90 days. So this is the patch policy we are following in my organization. You will not crash question. Why? Because this patch policy are defined by your organization or your customer or client. There is nothing to do with whatever answer you are giving to the interview panel. Okay. Tuesday patch. What is this Tuesday patch? It's applicable to only Microsoft. So what Microsoft company is doing, every month, second Tuesday, second week of the Tuesday. So every month, second week of the Tuesday, they are releasing the both normal patch updates and security patch updates also to fix whatever issues it is identified in the 1 month. So that patch updates we can call it as Tuesday patch. Every month, second week of the Tuesday, Microsoft will release patch updates. What are different patch updates they will do? One is normal patch updates. Normal patch updates meaning not from security point of view, or other things like a system maintenance or any other things related to libraries and packages, those things, and security patches is called as Tuesday patch. Okay. So patch meaning here software updates, fixing of the vulnerabilities or fixing of the patches or fixing of the issues or bugs or loopholes or weaknesses. So Microsoft will release this. Concept is not applicable to Linux. So second week of the Tuesday, whatever date and time, they will release the patch updates that is contains both normal patch updates. These regularly servers team or Windows teams, they are trying to fix those updates along with security patches also. In one month time period, what are the security related patches that is appeared? For that one, what is the solution? So they will release, and they will so these servers team, they have to fix both security and also normal patch updates also. Okay. So that concept we can call it a Tuesday patch. Yeah. So that is about overall theoretical part. So next one is a practical demo tool. So I'm going to explain about Nessus Essentials under Tenable. This one is tomorrow class. Please come tomorrow. Please don't skip tomorrow class. It's very important. Because whatever theoretical from past 5 days we discussed, 6 classes we discussed. So everything I can correlate theoretical versus practical. So Nessus Essential is one of the, okay, so Nessus tool is one of the tool. Okay, before going to do that, okay, 1 second. So what all different types of tools are available? VM tools are. So we have Nessus Tenable. Nessus is a tool name. Give me another 5 minutes, please. Nessus is a tool name. Tainable is a company name. Second one is Qualys. So Rapid 7. So this Rapid 7 is also Insight VM. So next one is Nexpose. So next one is Tripwire, Palo Alto, Tanium. Under the cloud side, we do have AWS Inspector. It's a part of the AWS environment. Azure Scanner. GCP Scanner. So these are all on the cloud side. If you want to do the scanning on the cloud environment, these are all the commercial tools, by the way. All these are commercial. So nothing but we have to pay money and we have to get the, okay, so we have to purchase the tool. Everything is okay, we have to pay money only. But we discussed one more tool that already you practiced, that is Nmap. But Nmap is only port scanning tool, but it will not give the vulnerabilities list. It's a open source. So there are two different types of tools. One is called open source. It's a free of cost. Second one is commercial. All these are commercial tools. Okay. Commercial meaning here we have to pay money. So now in the tomorrow class, what I will do, I will explain about practical demo tool. So for that one, what you can do, it's a from Nessus Essential. It's a Tainable company. Now, just you can go to Google and type Nessus Essential download. Click on this one and go to Tainable Nessus Essential Vulnerability Scanner. Just you can give your first name, last name, and business email address. So example, test. Example, and I'm given my email address and get started. So even that's showing as a business email, but it will accept your personal email ID also. Okay. So now you have to download this one. Click on download. And you will receive one of the email also. So click on download here. Click on I agree. So what is the latest version of the Nessus? So any tool that may be Security Center or Tainable IO Cloud or Tainable Professional, all those 10.9.0, and is applicable to Windows. You can see Windows, Mac, and also Windows and Linux, all these. Now I'll receive one of the email. So it will take some time. It's not received. Yeah, it is received. And in this email, you can receive one of the license key. So this is called license key. If you want to activate and install your Nessus Essential in your laptop, hope everyone has a laptop to practice all these so demos or practical tools. So you can keep this one, okay, so with yourself, and whenever you are installing, let's go and see whether tool is downloaded. Yes, it is downloaded. So we have to click on next and agree the terms and condition. Next and next, install. So already I do have the existing Nessus tool in my laptop. So that is the reason it is asking. So whether you do you want to remove the existing Nessus tool? Yes. So it is getting error because I have to delete the tool first. Okay. I have to delete that existing folder's content. Then only I can go and I can install freshly new installation part. Okay. What I want to say now, I'm repeating once again. Just go to Google. I'm repeating once again the steps what you have to do. So just go to Google, download Nessus Essential, download, and click on the Nessus Essential vulnerability scan only. Don't click on the other thing like Nessus Professional, Nessus Security Center, Nessus Tenable IO Cloud. For that one, you need business email ID. But couple of people are working here. So whoever is working on, yes, you can download other tools also. But whoever is not working on, you have only Gmail ID or Yahoo Mail ID. So click on this one and provide your first name and last name and business email ID. Even though it is showing like a business email ID, you no need to give your company email ID. Just you can give your personal email ID, like Gmail or Yahoo Mail. Okay. So then click on check button and finally get started. One of the email you will receive. Additionally, it will redirect to this is the page. You have to go download the software of the Nessus scanner. Okay. Now, at the time of the installation, where the file is downloaded, please go to that particular downloads file and click on next and next and next and finally give finish. Once you are giving the finish button, then what it will show? It will show like one of the new Microsoft window related through Explorer. So through Edge or Explorer, it will open one of the window here. So after that, so this is the way how it will open. Once you are opening, you can click on the connect to SSL. Anyways, I can provide the document that one. Otherwise, I can discuss in the tomorrow class. But please try to install by following the steps. For that one, I can provide the document on what to do and how to do after completing this class. From this starting with registration, and you will receive the one of the license key. Then after completing the software installation of the Nessus tool, then we have to provide our first name, last name, your username and password. You have to remember that password. You are forgetting the password and more than 3 attempts you are trying. Once again, this tool will not work. So please note that password somewhere in the notebook or wherever you like or whatever you like. So then finally you are able to log into the tool. Once you are able to log into the tool, then finally it will take 1 or 2 update all the patches, all the plugin IDs. If you want to get all those plugin IDs, it will take minimum half an hour. So complete the task today. And if you don't complete also, it's fine. And the tomorrow class I will discuss. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect then. And tomorrow, please don't skip the class. It's very, very, very important one. Tomorrow I will explain about implementation and also operational support, like what exactly we have to do, part of the manual analysis. And also through automated tool, how to do the configuration, and also how we can go and we can write the tickets. That's all for today, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Good night.